Hello, today on episode 333 of your favorite daily podcast, A Couple of Things, a podcast about things, I want to talk about picking your neighborhood, like where you live, and other such related topics. Let's get into it. So, something that I have been thinking a lot about in the past 2+ years, especially, is about living near my friends, living in a place where it's really easy to walk to my friend's house, for example, or I don't have to take like a 2 hour train or a 1.5 hour train or a 1 hour train to get to my friend's house. Where if I want to go to their house, it's like maybe max 15 minutes by the metro or the tram, or I can walk there and I don't have to think too much about it or plan my journey there. And it has become more pressing for me, for lack of a better word, in the past few months, because the few friends that lived within walking or a 10-15 minutes public transport ride to their house have all moved away. One moved outside the Netherlands, two moved to other. One is still living in Amsterdam, but it's a journey to get to her, and the other one moved outside Amsterdam. And I'm just so stressed out by it, and it has made me think about. I read an essay, I don't remember how long ago, about like getting your friends to live near you, and it was about this guy who he basically, I can't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but the person had basically worked it out in such a way that they were able to get majority of their friends to either live in the building that they live in or on the same streets within the person is in the US, so all their friends were within like, or a majority of their friends were within like 5 to 10 blocks of their house, so walking distance. And I think that really ups the quality of your life. I don't have any scientific proof, but I genuinely think that living so close to your friends, living in a way that is so easy to access where your friends live, especially when you have kids. I don't have kids, but I've heard this from people who have kids, that living near people that also have kids that they're friends with, it makes it very easy to plan and organize stuff. But I feel like it makes your life so much easier and so much better. Yes, you can make friends with your neighbors, and I do know people who have done that, and I have tried to do that with my neighbors, but it didn't really work out. But there's just something about the importance of where you live, because we spend, outside of like, if you go to an office and like where you have to work from an office or from your workplace that you have to go to, your home is probably where you spend the most time other than that. And for example, now I live in Amsterdam, and I can count on my hand the number of times I've actually gone to Amsterdam Central, like the central area where all things are supposedly happening. I can actually count on one, okay, maybe two hands, but I can count on my hands the number of times that I've actually gone into that area. Most of the things I do are within the area that I live in, and majority of the time I've actually gone to Amsterdam Central was to actually just go to the station to take a connecting train or tram or something to get to some other place, maybe to visit a friend or to go to a meetup or something. So I just feel like I've been thinking about it more and more recently, about how like my main thing in life right now is to convince all my friends that are thinking about moving countries to move to the Netherlands first of all. At least we're in the same place. Then I'm trying to convince all my friends that are in Netherlands will find apartments near me. Although it can be really difficult, because in places like where there's like housing crisis and it's really hard to find a place, it can be really hard to create that kind of community or build your own quote unquote commune in the city. Which is why I've noticed that a lot of my friends who are moving are actually moving to the same cities. Like for people who are moving outside Amsterdam, they're all moving to the same cities, and plus or minus 10-20 minutes the same area generally. And it's just very interesting, because it's much more easier to do that in the not so big cities, to find places near you where your friends can live. But I guess the point of all of these things is that I really wish that it was possible or easier to basically commune and collocate yourselves together. That's my dream. I really want to live in such a way that the people that I can count on in my life are within walking distance of my house, or maximum I can take the bus, train, tram, metro, whatever, and be at their house in 15-20 minutes max. That's my ideal world. But That's it for today. Oh wait, that's not it for today. The other thing I wanted to talk about like picking where you live, is besides living amongst your friends, I also think about like the convenience of where you live. I really, really like where I live. Like the neighborhood I live in is so convenient. I'm close to a train station. There are actually two train stations close to me. One is more easily accessible than the other one. Um, and that's very handy because for example, now that I go to school 3 days a week and my school is in a different city, there is a train that goes directly from the train station near me to my school, well, to the train station of the city where my school is, which is very convenient, that I don't have to take like two transfers or take a bus and a train and this and that. It's so convenient. I have almost everything I need in my neighborhood. Again, I rarely go to Amsterdam Central. The times I go to Amsterdam Central is like, oh, a friend wants to do shopping and she wants somebody to go with her, so we go together. Things like that. Like, but majority of things that I need in my day-to-day life and that I access and that I go to are within my neighborhood. And it's even to the point where when I say my whole area, there's the whole like municipal area of my area. But then there's the smaller, what do you call it? Is it borough? I think it's called a borough. But that's not what we call it here. But that's probably what's like is the most resonant thing I can think about. There's the particular sub area within my area that I live in that I'm more acquainted with. There are times where I just wander around and I see a part of my neighborhood that I've never seen before, because I truly spend majority of my time in like a maybe 5 kilometer, maximum 10 kilometer radius. No, I don't even think it's up to 10 kilometer. Maximum 3 kilometer radius of my house, or max 5. And there are parks near my house, so I don't have to go. I have like 3 parks near my house, and when I say near, I mean like maximum 30 minutes walking distance from my house. There's so much of all the regular day-to-day things that you would like, or that I would like. I can't speak for other people. In my neighborhood, there's so many restaurants. Like, if I wanted to go to every restaurant that is within walking distance of my house, I don't think, if I did this every single day of the year, I don't think I'll go to all of them in a year. There's just so much in my neighborhood and I love it, and it's so convenient and it's so nice, and it's like it gives you the city vibe, but it's also so quiet. Whenever people come here, they're like, wow, this place is so quiet, it's almost like you're not in Amsterdam, and I love that. It's so perfect. And every time I think about moving, I'm just like, do I really want to move away from here? But see earlier about, I want to live near my friends. So I think that is more important to me. But the point is, I guess, like, when picking where you live, it's important to like your neighborhood. It's important to like have things that you want, desire, etc. And it may be easier in some places than in some other places. I know that when I was in Lagos, it wasn't so easy to. I didn't have an ideal neighborhood. It was just like, please, let's find a house where we're going to live. But I actually also liked where I live because it was in a conveniently placed location in general. But yeah. I'm also curious about what other people find relevant when they're picking where to live. Is it just about the house itself, or does the neighborhood also matter? And what about the neighborhood in particular is important? 32 days left in the year, 32 episodes to go. Reminder that the window for doing a guest episode is reducing and reducing every day. If you want to do a guest episode, reach out. Now is your chance. Okay? Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful, or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.